What's Aurora's biggest strength?
I would say resilience and diversity. So I'm sorry if that's two, but resilience and diversity.
Okay.
And you want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah, please.
Okay, cool. So resilience, I think most people, when you first meet them, if they are not from Aurora, they know like the myths about it, right? I know there were, and not the myths, but like the old images of it, right? So a lot of people know about the height of violence in the 90s and early 2000s. But I think it's been incredibly resilient in the sense that it's bounced back from that in a way, and it's reinventing itself. And I think it's still in that process. I don't think you're ever done really building, but it's still in that process of reinventing itself from some of those previous stigmas it had. And then when I think about diversity, I think there's a great unity here, and it's not always apparent, but when I think there are moments that are back against the wall and things like that, Aurora comes and shows out. When I come to Aurora, at least from my experience, I see a great deal of diverse culture, peoples, and there's a merging of it and a collaboration of it. I'm part of different advocacy groups that deal with different issues that, quite frankly, are aligned. I believe in strong solidarity, but I love to see the strength of people coming together for similar causes and different backgrounds to unite around commonality. So I think I see that in Aurora.
I've heard Aurora described as the little city that could. Do you think that's a fair description?
Little city that could. That's interesting. I kind of like that. I think some people would take that and say, oh, that's the chip on our shoulder because the word little. But I don't think that has a negative connotation. In comparison, we are smaller to Chicago, the largest city, but we are the second largest city in Illinois.
Right.
And I think that's important to highlight. So if you're comparing it to that, we are smaller, but we do, I think, large things. We have a large capacity, and I think it's growing the potential. You look at the downtown area, you can look at the Paramount, and knowing like the data around the Paramount is one of the largest theaters in the nation.
Yeah,
that's something a lot of people don't know. Knowing like the history of Aurora, and like this is one of the first industrialized cities to have street lights. That's where the name City of Aurora comes from.
right. The City of Lights.
Yeah, historically, it's always, I think, done large things, had a large capacity, and it's done it on large scales with less resources, less people, but it's still able to achieve things that you might not otherwise think you can. So I think that's an accurate description. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Okay.